Hi everyone, my name is Ria Shah. I don't know why okay, perfect. Okay, um, sorry about that, guys. Hi everyone, my name is Ria Shah. I'm a student at St. Louis University, and I am going to be talking today and discussing a little bit about Jainism and different economic systems. So I'm primarily going to focus on communism, capitalism, and socialism. Hopefully some of you are at least familiar with the different types, but I'll also go more into depth in this slide. In my opinion, I think it really does help show the major differences between the three. So without further ado, I'll get started. But with communism, it's more focused on no private ownership. It's a central government. There's no class distinction, and it's also production for basic needs. So they focus, instead of more on expanding desires, their focus is on making sure each individual has their basic necessities and not anything more. And then capitalism is very different from communism. Capitalism is primarily focused on total private ownership, making sure that each individual has the rights to own property. They're also focused on market forces. So forces dictate pretty much ownership of property or ownership of goods. And then there is a class distinction. So typically upper class, middle class, lower class. And then there's production for profit. And then for socialism, that is limited private ownership, except people are still able to own property. And there's government, and then there's private entities, and then there's also limited class distinction. So in capitalism, there's going to be more of a difference between the upper class and the lower class, but in socialism, there's less of a difference. And then there's also most productions for societal needs, instead of just production for profit. And so these are sort of the basic differences between communism, capitalism, and socialism. So today I kind of wanted to discuss how Jainism can be applied to each of these three economic systems. And I am hoping for a more of a collaborative group discussion on this. But from my take and from my knowledge of Jainism really does focus on making sure we have basic needs as Shraviks and Shravikas, but also making sure we don't expand on our desires. We value aparigraha, non-possessiveness, instead of my apologies if you can hear my roommates, but instead of just buying unnecessary items. And with communism, that allows for people Jainism sort of can be reflected in communism, because it is making sure that each individual has basic needs. But then with capitalism, it's more production for profit, and that's all about total private ownership. And capitalism really does expand on desires, and there is a class distinction. And so it can be difficult to see how, because in communism, typically, especially in this day and age, it could be difficult to see how that might be reflected in Jainism, because communism is more focused with people in power, or more dictating what people can own. And then capitalism really allows a person to, on their own free will, they can own as much as they want or as little as they want. And so just trying to see what the fine line is, and how Jainism really is incorporated in each of these economic systems, can be different according to each individual. And so I was just going to open it up to you guys, and what your all thoughts are on whether you see Jainism in communism, capitalism, or socialism. And I really don't think it can be limited to one single economic system. And also, none of these economic systems are perfect. But if any of you have any thoughts, because I don't want to just talk at you guys, but if you guys have any thoughts about each of these systems and how Jainism might play a role, that can help move the discussion forward.